All right. So whenever I talk to anybody about trying to get clients without Facebook ads, normally their preconception of what they need to be doing is that they got to go out there, they got to start blogging, they got to start doing podcasts, they got to start getting on YouTube, start getting their videos all over the place, posting on their Instagram, and then hoping and praying that they get clients responding to them after all of that work. And this is how entrepreneurs seriously grind themselves into the ground. They're constantly producing content, constantly writing, constantly filming themselves, constantly recording themselves. And what they're not doing is focusing on things that can actually make them money. If you were just to take a step back and look at this situation from another perspective, let's say you put yourself in the position of a family member or a friend, they would look at you and you would look at yourself like you were absolutely crazy, right? Because what you're doing obviously isn't working. A lot of you are out there grinding for a long time and not getting to where you want to go. So what should you do? And let's think about this as a thought exercise for a second. You know your audience, right? When you started putting your service together or when you started putting your products together, you probably did. So if you did it the right way, you probably did it in order to solve a problem. And that probably is a problem that you've encountered before. And the reason for that is because you're actually a member of your own audience, right? You probably created this product, this service, or started doing what you were doing because it was something that you wanted for your life in the first place. So because you understand yourself, you also understand at least a good portion of your audience. That means that you also understand what they read, what they watch, what they're consuming on the internet, where they're hanging out, and all of these other things. So what does that mean if we were to approach this as rational human beings? Well, that means that rather than spending all of our time trying to build our own channels and trying to create monuments to ourselves, because honestly, that's what this really is. It's you feeding your own ego, you feeding your own need for relevance that is causing you to try to publish, try to do all these different things. Rather than killing yourself doing that, what you should be doing is trying to get onto those blogs that you read, trying to get onto those YouTube channels that you watch, and trying to become a guest on those podcasts that you listen to, right? And I know what you're saying. You're probably like, well, how am I going to do that, right? Listen, I'm going to give you some steps here. It's actually pretty simple. Okay, we'll start with the blogs. I've been a guest contributor on a number of very well-known blogs when it comes to fitness. I've been a writer for T-Nation. I've been a writer for Elite FTS. I've been a writer for, what was that other one? Oh, Muscle and Strength, right? I've also gotten involved with a number of other podcasts. I've been a guest on different podcasts. And I also went off and started working for actually somebody who was a mentor for me for a really long time, and I got a good amount of publicity through that, through London Real. All that came about because I simply just reached out to people. I let people know exactly what I wanted to do, and I let people know, above all, how I could help them, what kind of value I could bring to the table. So what do you need to do? What are your steps? Well, what you need to do is you need to go to those websites. Let's say it's a blog that you really like reading. Then what you need to do is you need to go through that website, see the type of content that they produce, and then they probably have a submission section. Most big time blogs and most big time media companies do have a submission section where you can submit written material, where you can submit other types of content. And what you need to do is you need to read that very carefully. You need to see what their submission requirements are, and then you need to actually get to work and start producing some amazing content for them, right? And if you do that and you get submitted, well, guess what? You can get yourself in front of millions of people, and you can do that for absolutely free. So what are your action steps right now? Your action steps are go out there, Put some thought into the types of blogs you want your work to appear on. Put some thought into the types of podcasts you want to appear on. And put some thought into the types of YouTube channels you want to put in on. And then what you do is you list them out and then you contact them. If you've got a VA, a virtual assistant, then you go over to that VA and you tell them, listen, I need you to create this list of people, of publications that I want to appear on, publications that I want to submit my work to, and I want you to figure out what their submission requirements are. If it's a podcast, I want you to reach out to them. Here's my value points. This is what I could bring to the show. I want you to reach out to them and I want you to pitch them on me getting on the show. And if it's a VA, you're probably gonna have to write that out for them, but you definitely don't wanna not do this because you're scared to, right? A lot of times people are just really fearful and they're afraid to do things like this because, well, they think they can't do it. And the truth is this: fear is a liar. It's lying to you, trying to keep you exactly where you are, comfortable and struggling, right? Because that's essentially why you're doing all this work on your own blog anyway, right? Because you want to spin around like a chicken and do tons of work and feel like you're working, right? Work on the smart things that are actually going to get you clients and get you in front of your target audience, and stop trying to build a monument to yourself that's never going to get to anybody. With that, guys, I want to thank you for watching. If you like what I had to say, make sure you're liking us on Facebook. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel and hitting that little bell that notifies you when we are publishing. And if you're interested in learning more about what we can do for you in terms of getting you high ticket clients and creating a product that's going to allow you to stop trading your time for money, head over to www.warriorbusinessacademy.com.